So a Chinese fighter jet has fired flares in front of an Australian military plane over the South China Sea in a move the Albanese government is calling unsafe and unprofessional. There's all that. Joining us to discuss today's headlines is ALP National President Wayne Swan and Independent MP Dai Le. Good morning, guys. Nice to see you. Swanee, you're first up, and just like that, Beijing is back.
Yep, it's happening with increasing frequency across the region. It's seeing it with Vietnam, we're seeing it in the Philippines and so on. We have a very professional ADF and they handle these things well, but something can always go wrong. So I guess all we can be is as prepared and as professional as we possibly can and make sure that our long-term defence arrangements in the region are up to scratch, and we're doing that too.
Sorry, if any of our ADF personnel were injured in this, I mean, all hell would break loose. And none of this happens by accident, right?
It doesn't happen by accident, but it is happening right across the region. It's happening in Vietnam. It's happening in the Philippines. It's happening right across the region, and therefore we have to be as prepared as we possibly can, and we have to be as professional as we possibly can while making our long-term defence arrangements, putting those in place with all of our allies.
Not sure what we can do about the size difference between our navies, but anyway, we're going to heavily rely on the US, clearly. This is Australia's Shadows Die. 3 Chinese warships lurking northeast of Queensland. It is a sobering reminder, is it not, of this sometimes delicate relationship?
Absolutely, and I think, I'm agreeing with Wayne Swan here that, we have a very professional ADF, Australian Defence Force, and, the territorial testing in the waters, we've seen it often, and as you know, the Spratlys Island, that's a contentious issue, and, China seems to kind of, testing the waters, and I think we need to rely on, I'll wait to see what the Defence Minister has to say, and I'm not a Defence Minister, but I agree that we have a very professional Defence Force, but let's make sure that Australia's borders is protected.
All right, let's see what happens with the dialogue, because it's only going to get worse, I would have thought. Moving on, Parliament has likely sat for the final time before the election. Wayne, you agree?
I don't know. You'll have to ask the Prime Minister.
You know everything about the Labor Party.
It's entirely up to him.
Would you go early or wait till May?
Look, the election's going to be held by May. That's not long. There's not that long to go in any scenario.
Oh, come on, Wayne. Give us something. It's Valentine's Day.
No, that's for the Prime Minister.
All right, let's talk about Dai then. You were wined and dined by the PM this week. A lot of love in the air. Let the games begin. Were you wooed over?
No, I was the last on the list. Actually, they were forced to invite me the last minute. So I was almost left out there, Carl. So believe it or not, everybody else was invited except me. But I think Rebecca Sharkey, the member from AO, and I think Bob had a complaint. So I got a last phone call on the day. But look, yesterday felt like really, the last couple of weeks felt really dead in Parliament. It felt like this Groundhog Day, just,
the motions.
Just headlining, announcements or headlining. I mean, as often, you hear politicians, fee-free TAFE, thousands of dollars given to people, like, those headlining stuff. And I think people become very cynical when government of the day make those kind of headlining stuff.
I think everyone wants to get on with it. Swanee, would you agree with that? And let's face it, most of the Teals are Labor anyway, aren't they? There'll only be a few left for Peter Dutton to try and pick off.
Well, I see a lot of the colour around in the papers, but this is a serious contest of ideas and policies, whether we want to go down the Australian way, the Labor way of high wages, decent social safety net, or go down the American way of lower wages, not much of a safety net. It's a serious contest. We've got to have that discussion. It's not a horse race, it's a serious discussion about the future of the country, whether it's in defence, whether it's in social security, or whether it's in the economy.
Are you worried about where things are at for Labor at the moment?
It's going to be a close contest. I don't take the outcome of this election for granted. I never do. I think Labor is well placed, and I think we can certainly win the election. But that contest has to take place over the next couple of months, and we've got to go out there and talk directly to people about the differences between the two major parties.
All right, it's going to be tight. All right, finally...
Has there been a difference? Has there been a difference? I think people have to ask, has things really improved in the last 3 years? How do people feel now? Bills, energy bills, insurance costs, grocery prices. I think, things have gotten worse.
The quintessential question. All right,
and
finally, to leave that
future?
aside, I want to get to Valentine's Day, because, Swanee, I know that you're an old romantic. I have noticed sometimes tense exchanges with Dai over the years, but I thought what an opportunity it would be to clear the air with some love in the air. What do you love, Swanee, about Dai Le?
Oh, look, I like her new glasses. I think they're fantastic, and I hope she has a wonderful day. I'm heading off with my wife for a weekend away. It wasn't actually planned for Valentine's Day, but now you've mentioned it, it's a pretty good idea.
What, are you going to some economic conference?
No, we're going up to Stanthorpe, actually.
Oh, beautiful. I'm taking my wife to live golf, and I'm romantic as well.
Oh, you're such a romantic,
us Queenslanders. Dai, what would you love to say about Swanee?
Oh, you men sound so romantic. I appreciate Wayne's sense of humour. And I know that St. Valentine's Day is also, I think, keepers of bees. Lots of honey, sweet honey there. So, yeah. I'll get on to working. I've got to sign a lot of birthday cards today for my constituents, so that's how I'm going to spend Valentine's Day.
Geez, I didn't need to bring honey into it, Wayne. I thought that got a bit crazy, didn't it?
It's sticky there.
Carl, you seem attracted to that.
Hey, thank you, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate it as always. Take care. Bye. See you.